What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about strange things that Brits do. That's right. Today we're gonna expose all the weird, quirky things that the British do, or at least things that are strange to us Americans, I guess. Maybe we're the strange ones. I don't know. But we're not analyzing us today. We're analyzing the British and the strange things that you do. So I thought it'd be fun to take a look at this Reddit discussion where someone asked, what are some things Brits do that Americans think are strange? So I'm American. I think things are strange. I want to hear about some British things that are strange. That sounds very entertaining. Starting with apologizing for everything. Right, I've heard this said before. I gotta say that this is not actually something Americans really associate with British people. I actually, if we're talking about stereotypes that us Americans have of British people, we stereotype Brits as being very fancy and proper, or all having like a posh accent or something like that. But I never really thought of British people as being super nice and apologetic and saying, oh, I'm sorry, sorry, and stuff like that. But that actually seems to be something that Brits self-identify as being very apologetic. And it's not a bad thing. It actually sounds very, very nice. It's it's actually very strange in keeping with the theme of this video. It is actually very strange compared to life here in the United States because we do not apologize for stuff. We don't say sorry. We it's actually quite refreshing and rare to have someone like actually say sorry for something or bump into you and say, oh, I'm sorry. Usually we just say, excuse me, and like, oh, whoops, not really an apology, if that makes sense. But so that is actually strange behavior for Americans. And apparently that's something that Brits do. What else are some things that Brits say are strange things Brits do from Americans' point of view? Go to the hospital without taking a credit card. Okay. All right. I don't. What is this? What is this? Oh, hitting us right where it hurts. Hitting us right in the heart. Actually, don't do that. Don't hit me in the heart, because then I'll have to go to the hospital and I will need my credit card, because this is true. So, I mean, this must be an incredible feeling, I gotta say. Go to the hospital without taking a credit card. Strange things Brits do. That is, yeah, sadly, that is strange. Like, from our American point of view, that is strange because healthcare and hospitals and doctors, us Americans, we associate all that with money, with costing money, with healthcare insurance and deductibles and copays and coverage. And is it in your network? And oh my God. Okay, yes, I get it. This is actually like a British brag. This is strange, but in the best way possible. It's strange that this isn't how it is in America. I wish we were like this, going to the hospital without taking a credit card. Actually, what you need when you go to an American hospital is your identification and your insurance card, not really your credit card. Just to be clear. And they, believe me, they will bill you. You don't have to do a thing. They will find you and bill you. Obviously, we still take our credit cards so that we can pay for a ludicrously overpriced chocolate bar at the vending machine in A&E. Well, there you go. Even Brits have to take their credit card to the doctor to get overpriced chocolate bars. I wish that's all that we had to do. Americans would actually love that. Let's keep going here. Pantomimes at Christmas? Pantomimes? Like a mime? Like the person who does this? Like pretends to be trapped in a box and can't talk? Like a mime? Pantomime? Or is that like a puppet or something? Pantomimes at Christmas. It's fun explaining this to any non-Brit, and it seems uniquely British and utterly bizarre when you get down to it. I feel like maybe I've heard this at some point before. Pantomime? I feel like in America, pantomime means a mime, a person who dresses in black and white with face paint and is silent, and you never see them in real life, but from like old movies, I guess. Pantomimes at Christmas. This is strange. This is a perfect one because this is strange to me. I don't exactly understand it, and it's utterly bizarre. Yeah. Oh no, it isn't. Really? It's not? I guess to Brits this is just normal. Oh, yes it is. Oh no, it isn't. There's a little argument going on in the comments here. Brits will defend the Christmas pantomimes till the day you die, I guess, and that's fine. That's your right. We don't have to understand it, because goodness knows I don't. But that is amazing. Let's keep going. I am enjoying the strange British things. What are some others? Not associating guns with freedom. Oh, that's right, right. These are things that are strange British things for Americans. And I think these are hitting the nail right on the head. This is very specific, much like the healthcare one. This is very specific to Americans. So for Americans, it's strange that British don't associate guns with freedom. I mean, I don't think that's strange. I understand what you're saying here because we definitely do think that a lot here in the United States. But I don't think that other countries should have to think that. I think I'm really self aware at this point that America, we have our own weird obsessions and problems. Probably a little obsessed with guns and gun ownership. And we definitely don't have enough laws about gun responsibility and training and making sure whoever has guns has them for a good reason and that you're certified and demonstrate that you're mentally and physically equipped to handle the responsibility of a gun. That's the scary part, is that in America, it's not difficult to get a gun legally. So you can just like go get a gun. It doesn't take that much effort or training. That's very weird to me. But so this kind of getting flipped around. This is a weird thing about America. But also, Americans might think this is weird about Britain, that you guys don't associate guns with freedom. This is a very touchy subject because this goes back to our Constitution and stuff, like our right to bear arms. This is a right that's really been, man, talked about so much over the course of history in America. And I think at this point, the right to own a gun is just something that Americans have had for so long and is so ingrained in our culture that it is actually associated with freedom. Not because we're all obsessed with guns, but it's more like if you take that right away, what else could you take away? What else is at stake? If you take away the guns, what's next? That fear is in a lot of the minds of Americans, if that makes sense. So yes, this is probably a very good, strange thing for Brits. It's actually good that you're not associating guns with freedom. Okay, that sent me on the rant. All right, let's keep going. Strange things Brits do. Greeting people with, all right, yeah. Yeah, I've never encountered like a British person in real life. I've never been to Britain, but I've heard that this is a British greeting saying, all right, or am I even doing this correctly? Do you say, all right? Or is it like more of a question? Like in American English, if you raise the pitch, it's a question. All right? Like, like that. And this is a very British greeting. I do think it's very strange. It makes no sense for us Americans. But apparently this is just asking how you're doing. Whereas here in America, if you go up to someone, first of all, you'd never just say, all right, because that makes no sense on its own. You might say, are you doing all right? That would be like a question that Americans would at least understand. But most Americans would be very surprised and kind of almost offended at that. Because in America, if you say, all right, or are you doing all right? Is everything all right? If you use that kind of language, it's almost like implying something is not okay. It's like, it's kind of funny because it's the opposite of in Britain, from what I can tell. Yeah, this is a strange one. This is a good one. I'm northern, so it's more like all right, all right, all right. You're right. This is Manchester. You're right. That's funny. Haha, definitely this. The times I've been in the States and used all right from a force of habit, they've taken it as being quite standoffish. All right. Yeah, I'm fine. Why wouldn't I be? Exactly. That is exactly correct because we don't use that phrase. So it's like it's like you're saying is something wrong. So it's funny. It's funny how it's like the opposite here. Yeah. What else do we have? Some more strange things that British do. I heard that Americans think beans on toast is a weird combination. Yeah, yeah. I don't even really understand the British obsession with beans. I don't know if you're obsessed with beans, but just the fact that you eat beans like on toast, is that like a breakfast thing? Beans just are not that popular in a lot of the United States. Of course, there's some Americans who eat beans, but never on toast. And in my life, I just never eat beans in general. It's just not a part of like my experience of American culture anywhere I've lived or grown up. We don't have the beans. And I am kind of like curious, how did that even become a thing in Britain, but not America? Uh, I've always thought peanut butter and jelly was strange, but I've never tried, so what do I know? That's true. That's true. You know what? Thank you, Brit, for keeping an open mind and reminding me I definitely shouldn't knock the beans on toast if I've never had it. It could be good. It could be great. I could be missing out. But I don't know. Much like if Brits haven't had peanut butter and jelly. Is that true? Because peanut butter and jelly is such an iconic American food. It's kind of weird for me to think that lots of people don't eat that or think about that. So I guess that's kind of what British think about how Americans don't have tea or toast and or toast with beans. What else do we have here? Some more strange things Brits do. Having a washing machine in the kitchen. Why is this? Washing machine in the kitchen is very strange. Hard for me to wrap my American brain around. Like, gosh, I think it's because a washing machine is for cleaning your clothes, and I associate the kitchen with being kind of dirty. There's like food everywhere. You're cleaning stuff, you spill things, and like I would never think of combining my clothing area with my food area. I think that's what it is. I guess if you're British, this is just normal. And maybe I'm over exaggerating this. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. Like maybe British people are out there thinking, well, just don't spill your food on your clothing. You don't need to put your dirty dishes into your washing machine. Like just be a grown up and don't get the food in the clothing. And I guess I understand that. It's just like in America, we keep our washing machine so isolated. Like it oftentimes our washing machine has its own dedicated room, like a laundry room. So we really have it in our mind that you gotta keep the washing machine separate and keep the clothes and the washing separate and sanitary, and having it in the kitchen is just so far away from that idea. That's why I think it's strange. It is that's a really good one. That is a strange concept for Americans. Haha, yep. I was like, well, where do they put it? The bathroom? Why would you put it in there? That's funny because a lot of Americans do put the washing machine in the bathroom. If you live in an apartment, you do put the washing machine in the bathroom. That makes more sense to me, but does that make any sense? When I really think about it, you're probably getting dirtier and more germs and dirt in the bathroom than the kitchen. So, with that logic, it might be stranger that we put our washing machines in our bathrooms. Oh my gosh, I'm having a crisis right now. I'm having an existential American crisis. This might actually make sense. Why Brits are in the kitchen. I think ideally you have a laundry room. Normally, either a laundry room, yes, exactly, like its own room, or the garage, or the basement. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But the British just do it in the kitchen. And more power to you. Why not? Just don't get the beans or toast lost in there, and everything's fine. What are a couple other strange things Brits do? Brits call each other the C word, the C word, without malice. Oh, it's like a term of endearment or love. I know that British people like make fun of each other and tease each other a lot more than Americans do. British are like mean to each other, but it's like in a loving way. We have a little bit of that here in America, especially like guys and maybe with your brother or sister or something. But I don't know, the C word, that's a really, really bad word to use here in America. You'd actually never use that word, even in a joking way in America. That's really quite off limits, honestly. Talk at a reasonable volume. Again, with the personal attacks on us Americans, our healthcare, our obsession with guns, talking loudly. We definitely I've heard this, and I guess Americans would think it's weird that British and other cultures don't talk as loudly because us Americans, we definitely don't think about how we're affecting others. So we talk loud, we're over opinionated, a lot of stuff. Complain as a national pastime? This is something British do? Brits complain as a national pastime? That's funny. Do other Brits out there, do you agree with that? Uh, that's funny. I can't say, yeah, that is weird to me. That's strange. That's not. Us Americans, we have our, like, weird things, but I wouldn't say that we complain about stuff as a national identity. That's funny, though. Drying clothes outside, not using a dryer. Really? Really? Do a lot of British actually do this? Like dry clothes outside on a clothing line? Like the 1600s? What is this, the Middle Ages? I mean, Americans would never even think of this. We would never. We are using our dryer in our own dedicated laundry room, far away from the kitchen. Drying clothes outside? Do a lot of British do this? And if so, why? Why not just have a dryer? I mean, there's nothing wrong with drying your clothes outside. That sounds quite quaint, quite nice even. Kind of therapeutic, maybe. Hanging your clothes on a clothing line, getting to go outside for a moment. Huh. Apparently, some of the Americans have been conned into thinking drying your clothes in the fresh air is for poor people, and that everyone should use a dryer. Well, if I'm trying to be honest, I guess nobody air dries their clothing here in America. Nobody, no one. Even if you're really poor, you would want to get a dryer, I would think. Like, yeah, I think this is actually kind of true. Americans, we might be a little bit stuffy, a little bit snobbish ourselves. We do kind of, yeah, I think we do see drying your clothes outside on a clothing line as like something that a poor person would do. Or we're like, why are you doing that? You can't afford a dryer? Yeah, that I think that's actually accurate. Yeah, it's actually a good thing for us to maybe reflect on. Strange things Brits do. Walking more than 20 minutes. Yes. Yes. As an American, I don't understand it. I don't know how you do it. And I don't know how this became such a big difference between British and Americans. Us Americans, I think, like, we have just designed our society here for driving. You have to have a car. Our public transportation system is horrible or non existent in many parts. You gotta drive, and once you're driving everywhere, you get used to it. Like, if I'm driving down the road and it's like a 2 minute walk, I'm still driving. Because now it's like a 20-second drive. You know, that, that sounds better to me. Oh my God, but I'm noticing something. A lot of the things in this discussion are strange to us Americans. These are strange things that Brits do, but it might be that the British are doing it better, and we're the weird ones for thinking that this is strange. Like, we should go walking more. Like, that would be better for us and better for the environment. But yeah, do most British people actually walk? I've heard this about like Europe in general, that Europeans walk more. And here in America, believe it or not, if I'm driving around town and I see someone walking, I actually think that's strange. I actually am thinking like, why are they walking? Like what's wrong? Is their car broken? Do they not have a car? Do they hang their clothes outside? Do they dry their clothes on a clothing line? What's going on? What weird people. But I think that makes me kind of weird. Maybe Americans are kind of weird. This is not the direction I thought this video was going to go, but here we are. This was actually quite entertaining to me and a bit self-reflective. These are a lot of things that are strange. That as an American, I can say these are strange things Brits do. But it also made me think some of these things we shouldn't think are that strange. These should be more normalized here in America. Go figure. So I think I learned something here today, and I did enjoy this. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts or your opinion on strange things that Brits do. That'd be very entertaining to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Britain and British culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.